Top government officials in the oil and gas upstream sector, including CEOs of Nigeria energy companies, started a two-day international investment roadshow today in London. The Nigeria's upstream sector regulator, the NUPRC, is wooing investors towards its ambition to add 1 million barrels of oil to the country's output, while shopping for increased investments in the hydrocarbon sector in north of $7 billion US. Chatting to me on this and lots more in the energy news now is Solomon Ewanehi. He's the Group Managing Director and CEO at Solewant Group, an indigenous pipeline fabrication company in Nigeria. Great to have you connect to us on the show tonight from London. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bosin.
Yeah, thank you so much. Give me your key takeaways from today's International Investment Roadshow of the NUPRC. What did you gather from sitting in the room, listening to everyone across the aisle?
Thank you very much, Bosin, and thank you, Nigeria. Thank you, the world at large. The energy in the room was very massive, and everyone, the energy experts, are talking about how to deepen our operations. All that we are talking about is to increase the production of crude oil by 1 million barrels per day. And currently, you are aware that we are now at the threshold of between 1.7 to 1.8 million barrels per day. And the key takeaway for today's section, we are strong commitment to transparency. We need to be transparent with what we are doing, because investors across the globe were there at Dorchester in London, and we had discussed on this issue of commitment to transparency. We need to be transparent. Data are key. Of course, you know, data is key to our energy boxing. So we're talking about transparency. Second thing that we also looked at during the roadshow was the momentum. If you look at how the events have been unfolding, this is the third of its kind here in London, and we've had similar roadshow in the US, at a hotel in Nigeria, and is coming up, and of course, we have the information from C&C talking about Engineer Komalafe, and he was talking about the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has given that permission for more of the asset that is currently being bidded for this December. And we also have the other regulatory framework that we were also looking at. We need to deepen look at the framework. If it's strong, the investors will be interested in coming into the industry. Another takeaway was also the area where some of the operators are looking at, is beginning to look at, is a mere paper, mere talk show. But right now we're talking about, we need to look at other financing institutions. The DFIs were there, but the commercial banks are also there. But what we have seen in the past has been that financials within the Nigerian space have been the one actually investing in these marginal feed operations. These were the key takeaway that we have today. Like I said, it was massive, and everyone is interested in ensuring that we ramp up the production by that 1 million barrel per day going forward.
Yes, you mentioned a few things I was about to ask about. What the industry investors, you've got project developers and others in the room. So, Mr. Ewanehi, I'm just trying to find out exactly, are there policies or actions that they would want to see from Nigeria that will give them comfort to unlock the financing that we sorely need in the oil and gas industry? That's where your company play, for example. You deal with the IOCs yourself, so you know what I'm talking about. What else will give them comfort to give us that much needed investment in Nigeria? As so part of the roadshow, we're talking about $7 billion or even more.
Exactly. We had in the room the House of Representatives, and we also had the chairman of the upstream sector, Senator Itang, and they had also come up to assure the investors that legislation is backing what we are doing here in London. And everyone talked about weak regulatory framework before now. But going forward with the marching order of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Ahmed Tinubu, and he is interested in ensuring that we increase the production of crude. Yes, but also some persons we are also here to talk about. We talk about increasing production of crude, increasing barrel, drilling, to drill and drill and drill. But we need to also look at what the renewable are also looking at and thinking about people first. And of course, you agree with me when we were in Ajax, we talk about these aspects of why Solewant is always interested in people, plants, products, solution. The reason for which that also came up today, because if we keep increasing the production of crude, we also need to talk about the labor that are working in that environment and ensuring that we are also helping to develop and improve on the technology and innovation in these drilling activities.
We're looking at 1 million barrels per day. Do you think we have what it takes? What's the outlook on that? 1 million barrels per day with the deadline set by the AUPRC. Do you think is there confidence that we're going to reach that threshold? Additional 1 million barrels.
Yes, like I said, we do have that capacity. Funding is required. We agree, but again, if you look at what we are doing in Petan as a member of Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria, Solewant is a strong member, and we are also talking about rolling out our equipment, increasing our participation in this aspect, and the presidency has given us that matching order for those who, of course, have invested in this industry. And to be able...
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, to be able to increase the capacity and ensure that we are doing just that. We also look at the aspect that can hamper the productivity, which is the security that we're talking about. We do have security issue at the UNGA 80, where, of course, I was a keynote speaker. We talked about the security along the Gulf of Guinea and what we are doing to ensure that we improve on what we're currently working on. So right now, we have the support of the government and the regulatory bodies as well. NUPRC, NCDMB, and all that are involved are also supporting those who, of course, are operators, then for the investors to have that confidence to come into this industry. So the commercial banks were present. We have them in numbers in the room. We have the DFIs as well, and those who, of course, have come from both South and North America into London for this roadshow today.
Okay, let's talk about some of the recent global energy summits, including ADIPEC, that you attended. There's been a number of these conferences, including OPEC Plus and all of that in recent weeks, as we begin to wrap up the year in a manner of speaking. Talk to me, what's the central conversation about the future of energy, especially for Africa?
Yeah, we're at ADIPEC. It started on the 3rd to the 6th of November. And this year is the 41 years of this ADIPEC. Last year was 40 years. But this year surpasses any other conference and exhibition ever held in Abu Dhabi. And this conference brought together energy experts, also brought together the DFIs, the commercial banks, the policymakers, and all other industry stakeholders across the globe. And deals were signed and the deals that were signed were over $49 billion. And we also saw lots of investors that came into that space that were new, equally signing deals. It weren't just mere conferences that we were used to having in the past. So this year, there's a whole lot of improvements and there is a whole lot of interest. And coming next year, 2026, ADIPEC, of course, is driving the stage and giving us, for those who, of course, are in Africa, to understand that we need to do more. Just like when you compare ADIPEC to what we had in Intra-Africa Trade Forum, is something that we need to deepen our approach. Of course, Nigeria is hosting the next IATF, so we need to do more by having those who, of course, that will attend to be interested in what we will be doing in Nigeria.
Okay, so your organization, your company, Solewant Group, is looking to host your 9th African Energy Summit later this month in Port Harcourt, here in Nigeria. What's the chief focus for that and why?
Yes, this is our 9th edition of the Africa Energy Summit. And the summit is coming up on the 26th, 27th, 28th of November 2025. We will be having the Secretary of the Federation, the SGF, ask the special guests, and he will be delivering the keynote address on behalf of the presidency. And we have other policymakers attending, industry experts, we have the legislators, and we have the researchers, the academians, and exhibitors. We are expecting over 1,000 energy experts converging at the Solewant Industrial Park. We have over 100 energy institutions that will be participating in exhibiting their products and services, including the development finance institutions, the commercial banks. They have been knocking on our doors, and we will be having one of the backs of the trade show within our industrial park. It's not about Solewant pipe coating services, it's about the Africa energy. We are discussing this year the emerging technology and the future of Africa development. And this, we have a number of persons that will be coming from Kenya. We have Elizabeth Rugo, we have Professor Lumumba, and we have other speakers like Professor Remy Uche and the like. So these are a number of experts that will be delivering the keynote speeches.
All right, we'll be keeping an eye on that, sir, for further updates on technologies coming in through your sector, the oil and gas. Thank you so much for your time, for speaking with us tonight on the Arise Exchange. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best there out of London. Solomon Ewa Nehi, the Group Managing Director at Solewant Group.